Good friends?
Yeah, we can play with not in the physical sense, but we can play with each other and have kind of real improvisation happen very quickly. We have a natural thing. It's always been there right since the start of the group. Yeah, we do get on well. Yeah.
As you said earlier, Stuart, your guitar sound is probably what most people associate the signature sound of the band being. It used to be called bagpipe guitars. I know that used to slightly annoy you. Well, let's nail this. How do you actually get that sound? Is it a production thing, or is it the way you play?
It's much more to do with the way I play. Most of certainly European pop and rock music is blues-based and has its roots really very much in that. And I didn't grow up listening to kind of blues-based music, you know, I grew up listening to folk and country. So my playing really has its roots in a whole different kind of chord structure and a whole different set of melodies. And I think it's more to do with the melodies and the actual chord structures people hear than the sound of the guitar. The guitar sound itself is a fairly straight-ahead, loud rock guitar sound, you know, that's what I like. It's combining the elements of the music that I grew up with a kind of loud rock guitar that I was so fascinated by as a young teenager, like people like Led Zeppelin and Mick Ralphs and Mick Ronson and all those kind of British guitar players from that period.
That's strange because, I mean, to most people associate you with punk rock and the Skids. It's strange that you would cite those kind of people as your influences.
I think the actual guitar sound of punk rock grew out of those British bands of the 70s, though. I think that there's a link between punk and kind of the more musical side of heavy metal and the kind of rockier side of glam music from the early 70s are related. And certainly as far as the guitar sounds are concerned, I'm sure if you ask people like Steve Jones or John McGeoch, who are the kind of guitar players that were around at that time, where they were inspired from, it would be people from that era.
It's funny, isn't it, because all those style divisions seemed so desperately important at the time, and now, 15 years later, they all seem part of the same kind of music.
It's all gone full circle, isn't it? I mean, people using old synthesizers and getting the old drum sounds back. You know. I
never really ever worried about that in the Skids. I was never ashamed about either the amount of technical ability that I had or the lack of technical ability I had. I don't have the technical skills that other players have, but I do have very much my own voice on the guitar and very much my own style, and it's been commented on very nicely by people outside of the band. That's something that I've always appreciated. But I think to me it's always been the kind of attitude that you play with is as much important as your actual technical ability to do it.
Mark, how long do you see the band carrying on? I mean, you've had a long and distinguished career. I mean, there must come a point where you ask yourselves, you know, are we going to carry on for another 10 years?
Well, I think you mustn't forget, as we get older, we get older. No, as we get older, our audiences
we're not as young as we were.
Are growing up as well. And you know,
is that what you found?
Well, yeah. Although we do get, you know, a complete spectrum of age groups coming to our gigs. I think, you know, the people that were there at the beginning, if they're bringing their kids along now. It does happen.
Well, it's just a Grateful Dead.
No, well, the whole point of it is that music shouldn't just be for like 16 to 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Eric Clapton can get out there and still do it, you know, there's a mature audience out there wanting to hear music that was, you know, with people their age playing it to a certain extent.
I think that's been the best thing for us, is when we go out and do shows, we do get people that you'd expect to be in a kind of younger bands who come along, people who are like young teenagers right up to kind of heavy metal and crusty type people right through to ageing hippies, you know, and it's great to have that kind of mixture come along. I think with the style of music that we do, it isn't really kind of related to any one fashionable thing or one trendy thing or any kind of looking around at what else is happening. And
well, you're quite lucky in that respect, really, because not very many rock bands who came up in the 80s as you did actually managed to hold on to an audience and indeed to hold on to their own lineup in the way that you seem to.
There's not many bands from that period left when we started, which is what we thought about.
Why do you think that is? Why is it that you've been able to sort of hold it all together so well?
Don't believe what people say about you, rule number one.
I think we always had a really strong vision of what we wanted to do musically and the way we wanted to go about it. Plus, I think when you have a situation where you feel, for me personally, when I feel I'm involved with a bunch of musicians who I think interpret the songs that I write absolutely fantastically, I would like to play with other people, but at the moment I'm completely satisfied with what we do within the band, you know, and I think that once the magic goes out of that, then it would be time to think about not doing it any longer. But we go out on stage and it's still as wild and chaotic as it ever was, and we get out there and we have our little intimate moments, and then the rest of the time we make a hell of a racket, and that's what I get off on, you know.
Yeah. We get like, sort of get a review in a heavy metal magazine, it's like 10 stars or something. It surprises us at times what kind of we can cross over into different fields, if you like, of style.
Kind of matches your dressing, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Sure, you've moved to Florida. Why is that?
Just because I could, basically. It's not any complex reason other than that. We didn't fall out with anyone in Scotland or fall out with Scotland itself.
Because you were quite strong on staying in Dunfermline for a long time.
Yeah, I dig the place immensely. In fact, I've just come tonight from my parents' house up there, so I've spent a few days up there just now, and I think I'm probably going to move back there in the summer. But just the way my visa's worked out, I'd had a place in America for a long time anyway, because we spent a lot of time working out there, and I like being there. It's a great place to be in a band, you know, and
the weather's better than Dunfermline.
it is slightly better, yeah. It does have that to its advantage. And basically my visa's just worked out so I could go and do it, and so go out there and kind of fool around on the beach and mess around when I'm not working.
Great, well it's great to have you back, and good luck. You're playing at the Flower on Saturday.
That's right,
in London. Have fun. Good luck with the new album. Still